Hello, today I bring you grim but important news from the North Sea. Now you'll notice that on the map I have in fact tagged London. This is because the North Sea wasn't recognised by the GPS, but also actually because this story involves the British government and London is where they sit. Dutch salvage contractors are currently working on, and by working on I mean chopping up and salvaging valuable metals from, 3 British warships in the North Sea. They were sunk in 1914 during the First World War, the HMS Aboukir, the HMS Hogue and the HMS Cressy. This is shocking to many. Now, not least people such as the Royal Naval Association, but also archaeologists who are involved in military and maritime affairs, because we are always told to treat such sites as though they are military graveyards. What makes this even more surprising is that this is not some illegal salvage operation. This has been given legitimacy and permission by the British government. Now, this story has come to light through the diligent work of Andy Brockman, an archaeologist working with the Mortimer campaign, when he approached the Ministry of Defence requesting information under the Freedom of Information Requests Act. He was told essentially it would cost far more than the legal limit for such a request, £600. And to go away essentially, and pretty much he was being stonewalled. They did not want to tell him what was going on. So he approached his MP, who uncovered the most surprising element of this story, and that is that the rights to this salvage were sold in 1954, only 9 years after the Second World War, to a German salvage company by the then Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. So this just gets worse and worse and worse, not least because the MOD actually has a duty of care to not only current conflicts and people who are wounded or killed in those conflicts, but also any previous conflict in which British forces have been involved. For example, in the Thames, the HMS London sank, and there was a huge presence and a huge amount of bureaucracy surrounding investigations of that wreck. Because it was to do with the military, and therefore there was the duty of care. But it seems that in the right instances you can approach the government and pay to chop up the ships to get metals if you want to. Now, this is exasperating for me, so I'm getting slightly annoyed, because it's actually akin to blowing up or allowing a military graveyard in the north of France to be dynamited because there's a risk, or a hint rather, that there may be gold or silver beneath. It simply would not be allowed, and yet this is happening quite frequently. Relatively recently, other shipwrecks have received similar contracts by the British government, and it seems that it may only be the tip of the iceberg. Now, I would definitely recommend that you read more on these stories. All you need to do is go to the links that I will have in the information bar underneath the video. The Private Eye magazine, commendable Private Eye magazine, have run the story, and also obviously the Mortimer campaign are publishing it too. If you want to learn more about the Mortimer campaign, who I've been working with for a while now, all you need to do is go to the website, which will also be involved, or included rather, with the links below. But I shall finish essentially by quoting Andy Brockman himself, who told Private Eye magazine that clearly this issue is of major significance to anyone with an interest in maritime archaeology. Yeah, okay. Heritage and conflict, and of course morally to anyone who cares about the treatment of victims of war and also victims of the sea. In other words, this should affect and concern all of us. So really I just thought I'd highlight it. You can expect more on this story, and as these stories develop, from Mortimer, from Archaeoscoop, and obviously anyone else who brings them forward. If you feel strongly about it, I would encourage you to support Mortimer, but also to support any other campaigns which will be lobbying the government about these issues, because we are currently, it seems, selling military graveyards for profit. Wonderful. And with that, I shall say bye-bye.